Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap Reviews channel. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through movie, book and other entertainment reviews which I think a gentleman may enjoy. And remember, I come at these things from the perspective of a middle-aged British man, maybe a little different to other people. Now, not 2 hours ago, I went to the cinema this afternoon and watched The Materialists, which has just been released to the UK cinema. I believe it was released a little earlier in the year in the US market, but it is in essence a romance comedy drama featuring a trio of very visually appealing and clearly very talented actors. We have Dakota Johnson playing Lucy, who is a matchmaker operating in the luxury singleton scene in New York. We have Chris Evans of Captain America fame, who is a struggling actor and ex-boyfriend of Lucy. His character name is John. And we also have Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian himself, who plays Harry, who is a rich, very attractive, wealthy single person operating in the New York scene as well. And that's kind of, you know, the three main characters. And as you can imagine, what we're talking about here is a love triangle, which all centers around Lucy. As I say, Lucy is a matchmaker. She's very good at her job of bringing single people together. And part of the humour in the initial stages of this movie is where we see her meeting her various clients, and they have such incredible requirements of their potential partners. You know, the women, for instance, all want their men to be over 6 feet tall, have an income higher than $250,000, and have all these various very specific boxes which they want ticked. And it is her job to talk these folks into reaching some form of compromise. Well, we kind of meet her at one point where she's got one of her many clients to the point where they're getting married. And of course, as the matchmaker, she gets invited to the wedding. And while she's there enjoying the wedding, she meets the brother of the groom, a man called Harry, who is, of course, Pedro Pascal. And they have a connection. He understands that she's a matchmaker who has brought his brother into contact with his now sister-in-law, brought happiness into their lives. So there's this sort of friction between them. He wants to date her. He's a single man. She describes him as something of a unicorn in the field of dating because he's incredibly wealthy. He takes her to spectacular restaurants, takes her to his amazing apartment in New York, where he reveals that, you know, the apartment cost $12 million. He's tall, dark, handsome, debonair, and very charming. And of course, you know, he's everything that anybody on the dating scene would seek to achieve in their potential partner. And she initiates, or she becomes a part of at least, an intimate relationship with him, which seems to be the perfect relationship, which, you know, somebody such as her would be looking for. But then, as a chance encounter, she also meets an ex-boyfriend, John, played by Chris Evans, who is a struggling actor working now in the catering industry as a kind of waiter, server, and obviously a little bit down on his luck, nowhere near in the same league as Harry, this rich, wealthy finance bro. And that's the triangle, the love triangle. And of course, as you can imagine, you know, they plumb their path together, and essentially, and I'm not going to give away, you know, the storyline. I mean, you can guess where this is going. There is a happy ending. You know, two of the people that we've just talked about come to the conclusion and realize that love is not what many of the clients think that it is, a marriage of materialism. Many of the clients are looking for that unicorn character who can provide everything they want. Wealth, you know, charm. A particular reference in it is made to height, because it is identified that Harry, the Pedro Pascal character, has had tibia lengthening surgery in order to be tall, dark and handsome, because actually he used to be 5'6", and in order to be 6 feet tall, he has his tibias surgically stretched to make him 6 feet. And it takes us, I mean, the story takes us on a journey, really, along with the characters, of our understanding that love is not materialistic. You know, it is not apportioned by one's financial wealth or the things that one owns, one's materialism. It is something, a connection deep down between souls. And that's kind of the lesson which the story teaches us. I'm not going to tell you what happens in the end. You can probably guess. It's not what the story would appear that the choices she would take, but it was a good story. The performances are, I would say, very, very good. Excellent performances. I mean, I really wasn't particularly aware of Dakota Johnson before. I can't recall seeing any movies of her in the past, but she had a very alluring character. Her presence is so polished, so charming. Her voice, the way she speaks to her clients, you know, it is beguiling. It drew me in. You know, you find this obviously visually very attractive girl, and her character and her personality very appealing. And the way that she interacts with the two leading men, again, works very, very well. They are a good counter to each other. Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, either ends of the spectrum. Now, if you like style and things like that, there's plenty of that on offer in this movie. Pedro Pascal, you know, appears in black tie, very well dressed. I was trying to identify his watches. Certainly at one point he wears a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso in one of the scenes, and you know, there's lots to see, lots of the elegance of the luxury end of the New York social scene, which is interesting to observe as somebody who knows nothing about that at all. So yeah, quite enjoyable performances. Pedro Pascal, as ever, you know, always very functional in all of his roles as an actor. He's a good actor, plays this role. He could play this role in his sleep, to be honest. You know, the tall, dark, handsome, wealthy man. I mean, I've seen him in so many movies just recently. You are prone to overlook the fact that he's a really good... I mean, in this movie, he's kind of a supporting actor, but he brings a gravitas to his role, which is rare. In, you know, if it wasn't played by Pedro Pascal, I couldn't imagine somebody else playing it so well. So yeah, he brings something to the movie, even though his overexposure in Hollywood at the moment, you know, you don't know what direction he's going in. Is he a romantic lead? Is he an action lead? Is he something, you know, everywhere all at once? Chris Evans got the role down to a T. I think he's from New York anyway, so he's got the accent perfect. And yeah, he plays the sort of downtrodden, unsuccessful boyfriend very, very well. And you know, there's lots of sparks and electricity in the relationships which are, you know, demonstrated in this movie. I mean, I'm not a guy who enjoys your romance, drama, comedy films. This was on at the cinema. I wanted to go and see something this afternoon. And I got to say, it was a couple of hours of fairly good entertainment. As a man who's has been and is very happily married for the last 20 years. It reminded me how lucky I am that I found my life partner, you know, many years ago. I would not like to be on the dating scene today with all the pitfalls that seems to hold for people in these huge metropolitan cities like London, New York and so on. But yeah, it was a very good movie. I think it'll be well received by people. If you're a gentleman and you're looking for a date movie to take your wife, your girlfriend, your mistress or your significant other to have a little bit of a romantic interlude whilst still being something that you can enjoy as well, I think this is one which is at the top of the list. So if you're looking for that at the moment, a date movie which you can also enjoy as well, other than just having to suffer through, I think The Materialists is one which will work for you. I'm going to give it 4 bowler hats out of 5 because in the genre, you know, comedy, drama, romance movies, it's one of the best that I've seen, and a very strong cast as well. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed this review today. I don't know what I'm going to review next. It depends what the cinema gives me. One day it's horror, the next it's comedy, no, romance drama. Who knows what's coming next? I'm just living each day as it comes. So until the next time we meet, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more. Take care, and I'll see you soon.